This is What the Flock Radio's Birds of a Feather. We are an indie music-focused show rife with witty, fuck-laden, insanely interesting, and unhinged banter. Our thematic submissions will confuse, infuse, and delight you, while our fascinating fun features fluster, flummox, fulfill, and thrill you. And I am Professor B. Soup, the mere co-host and underling, I assure you, on the show.
Whatever.
a veritable serf, you know.
Oh, my God.
And I also... wait, why does your waveform look smaller?
Because you're actually peeking it out a little bit.
I'm bellowing, yeah. Because I'm bellowing like a moose.
I
was just reading between the lines. Actually, I'm the one who says shit like that. You know. Well, you're bellowing like a she-moose.
I said nothing of the sort.
No, I know, but I'm saying what you meant. You know.
That's not what I meant.
So was I introducing myself? I think I was.
You
right?
were.
Okay.
First, you're bellowing like a moose.
Well, I'm looking at the most terrifying waveform. It looks like, you know.
Yeah, because you're peaking.
Gigantic, you know. Godzilla fucking waveform. Okay.
You're so peaking again and again.
Why?
You might need to move you away a little bit.
I mean, it's just the regular. What is the pop shield somehow amplifying my voice?
You moved it away and then you got closer just now. I did this and you said, "What are you talking about?"
I moved it so far away. You know.
You did not.
I did, miles away.
You're peaking.
Okay. And I'm Professor B. Soup. We established that I was the underling and the serf. International. Besides that, I do have some dignity. I can hold my head up a little bit higher because I'm an international rock legend and radiant savant,
from which I will never fully
amateur
recover.
wildlife photographer. I lay claim. I mean, who would, right? You know, we're going hopping.
Going hopping.
Can you dance to it?
Yeah. Can you dance to it?
New
That's
Year's
really
Eve. Come on.
That's
man.
right.
Dick Clark.
Dick Clark, man.
Well, anyway, now I'm the world's oldest teenager, and I'm glad the show's underway here. Maybe it'll help me maintain a little equilibrium. I'm a little off balance. I'm a little uncentered today. I'm still reeling from the shock of finding out that Pumpkin Hair has never seen the Spice Girls movie, Spice World. I watched that the other day. It was just like, this is the bomb, man. This is the shit.
It is shit.
I mean, they said, oh, we wanted. Here's a hot take for you. They said we wanted to make a movie like it's like A Hard Day's Night. I'm sorry, it's a better film than Hard Day's Night. It is. It's just more fun.
Is it because it has chicks in it?
No,
is
not at all.
Why?
Absolutely not. It's just it's the way it's written, the way it's presented. You can't help but goof out on it.
I can.
Yeah,
I'm going to help.
Very imaginative. But you know, at this point in her life, you don't know, folks. At this point in her life, I fear she would be too cool to enjoy it. Even if she did see it.
I believe anybody within the sound of our voices is too cool for that movie.
Nobody. People are screaming. The people want this.
They're not. No, they're not. They're not screaming. They're screaming at the fact that they found out you like it, but they're not screaming for the movie.
There's a sad group of people in the world, and it's growing exponentially, that they have this condition whereby with every passing year, the list of things that they're too cool for increases, you know, and exponentially. And I mean, it's much more than just too cool for school.
So the Spice World thing, just so you know, that's not on that scale at all. That's a whole other, like, that falls on a lame scale. And it's like a 20 on a scale of 1 to 10 of lame.
There's like a super dork scale.
Yeah, that's the next level. Okay. Yeah.
Well, I'm still not too cool for that, or Kiss, or Godzilla, or James Bond. That's why I'm such a young guy. But
gotcha.
Anyway, and who is this Christina who's never seen Spice World?
Oh, well, she's pretty fucking cool. I mean, at least in that regard. I am the vocalist for the rock band Ascent. That's ASNT, and you can find us on your favorite music platforms by searching ASNT or ASNT Rocks.
They're the goats.
So now, because I'm not nearly as fucking clever as David, I'm just not, I have this little thing that I do called Who Dat. And this time, I'm going to see if I can actually stump him. I never do. It's really fucked up. But
this is where I vaunt and display my utter ignorance and lack of perception and ability to think on my feet and every other virtue.
Bullshit. Anyway, so here it is. The Beatles are my favorite band. I sleep with a bayonet under my bed.
That narrows it down.
Yeah,
okay.
There it is, right? I have 7 children.
Damn.
My father's death devastated me, and it resulted in several hospitalizations. I will not respond to my birth name. The band and I reunited in 1985, 1992, 1997, and 2025. I was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2007. I tattooed my chest during my stay in jail. I did it myself. I failed my driving test 19 times. I survived a coma and cheated death twice. I snorted coke with a flight attendant to avoid being busted for possession. I painted the walls in Tommy Lee's hotel room. I once donned ladies' clothes to get a pint. My bully became one of my bandmates following a fateful audition.
Fateful audition. Well, that sounds an awful lot like Ozzy Osbourne, I'm going to say. Mr. Ozzy Osbourne, who everybody's talking about these days.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, I'm going to go with, I'm going to lay it all on the line here. And, you know, you got to understand, this is unusual for me. I'm not sure how to respond to actually knowing the whodat. You know?
Whatever.
But,
oh my God.
I mean, this has got to be like maybe the second time in history.
9 times out of 10 he gets it right, so he's full of shit.
This one is pretty... I didn't know about the father thing. I did not know that.
That was psychiatric hospitalization.
Yeah, I did not know that. And I didn't know he wouldn't respond to his birth name, which is John, by the way.
That's
his name
correct.
is John Osborne. And, yeah, that has to be Mr. Ozzy, I got to say.
It's true, but do you also know why he donned ladies' clothes to get a pint?
No.
Because Sharon hid his clothes to keep him from drinking.
So
he put on her clothes.
As an adult, okay. Because I've seen him dressed in ladies' clothes a time or two just for some novelty photo, you know.
Yeah.
I didn't know he did that the way to get... Because that was the only clothes he had available.
Well, that's what... Yeah, because she didn't hide her clothes. She hid his, and he's like, fuck it, I'm going to put these on and still go get a pint.
Hey, it's legal. Go on out, babe.
So that's not good.
But not encouraging the drinking, of course, that's a real problem.
And do you know the painting of the walls in Tommy Lee's hotel room? Do you know that story?
No, I never heard that one either.
With his feces.
Oh, I was afraid it was one of those deals.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the kind of thing is just like, it's incredible that he apparently grew up to be sort of a nice guy, even though he was clearly a jerk as a youngster and everything. The only beef I would have with him now personally is, you know, we've talked about it on the show before. I always fuss when they call him the godfather of metal and all this stuff because he doesn't write much. But seeing the show, I mean, it made me very verklempt, I got to say. And everybody was weeping over this because... You know, it took me back to my first concert ever, which was 1975, and it was those four guys. And back then, before all the Ozzy hysteria and being made out to be the be-all and end-all of everything, and he's really not, although I do like him as a singer, and I like a lot of his music, and he's the vocalist and melody maker on some of my favorite records of all time. So but seeing that took me back to, I hate the bad behavior stories. I hate that stuff, you know. It just makes you think...
It's part of him.
Yeah, unfortunately. But, you know, at least he seems kind of nice now, but...
He's really old. You get older, I think you get nicer.
Yeah, I think you mellow a little bit. And, of course...
Stopping drinking is going to help, too.
The credit thing will always bother me, you know, screwing people out of credits. And that's as far as... We're both songwriters here, in case you don't know. That is positively sacred, as far as I'm concerned, you know.
Well, so I have my... thoughts about Ozzy Osbourne. So the first thing I will say is I'm not a fan of him as a singer. I'm not a fan of him as a frontman either. I don't get it. Obviously, there are far superior frontmen that fronted this amazing band.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I don't have any affection for him in that way. I will say, though, I watched it. I needed to watch it. It was a moment in rock and roll history. So I watched it, and... just like the Phil Collins thing where Phil Collins went out and he was sitting in a chair.
Yes, that's right. He did.
I just felt sad about it because that is what is going to be the last memory I have of him performing instead of him running around stage like crazy and, you know, being, you know, even 1997, which was the last time I think they got together, something like that. Just, it was different. And so obviously seeing him, you know, struggle. And he did a great job, obviously, for what he did. But again, I don't know why you want to go out that way, where that's how we're remembering you, is sitting in a chair, you know, struggling, you know, through the songs, you know. But I mean, he did a good job. I'm not a fan of him in that way, but I felt for him. I was really sad watching it. And I was also moved by it because obviously this is supposedly the last time they're all going to be on stage together. And, you know, again, I just don't know. I don't think I want people to wheel me out on stage and let me perform when I'm that ill.
I think, the general zeitgeist is, a lot of people have misgivings about this. They do. And Tony Iommi said he didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
He did not want to do the show. But that's why I say this entire affair, which went spectacularly, by the way, and I'm very happy it did. This entire affair was all about Bill Ward, as far as I'm concerned. If you only know a couple Black Sabbath songs, you might be missing out on truly a great drummer. He's a really wonderful drummer. And they did an entire farewell tour called, guess what? The End, just a few years back, and it was great. Ozzy was in a great, physical shape, and the tour was fantastic.
No, I feel like they should have left it there.
Yeah, the only thing, that's why it was about, Bill Ward was not on the tour, though.
Still.
If he had played the last show only in Birmingham, it would have been over,
It doesn't, to me, it doesn't matter. Ozzy's very ill, and I don't know,
it's a bridge too far.
It is, to me, it's a bridge too far, and it's been a year in the making, and to me, it would have been better if, okay, do you remember, and of course you remember, everybody remembers, when Ann Wilson was paying tribute to Led Zeppelin, and they're up in the balcony listening.
The Kennedy Center, who forgets that?
That's what should have happened. He should have been up there, and they should have been performing his songs for him, and doing this beautiful tribute. It just felt... It didn't feel good to me. It felt
and that's mostly what happened for 8.5 hours. They had every band you can think of who's popular today, who for some reason I don't get. Gojira, I don't get Lamb of God. I really don't.
Gojira is really good.
But every band that came in, they did Black Sabbath songs in addition to their own.
But he should have been just sitting there listening instead.
Right. So that's what most of it was.
Tied down to a throne.
He did. I think he did 5 songs of his own and 4 Black Sabbaths, and it went far better than you could expect. And he sounded great, and there's no way any of it was fake.
I don't know if
it's
he
impossible.
Sounded great. He
sounded
fine.
as good as you could ever hope for from going to see a rock star whose first album came out in 1970. He sounded better than a lot of people were on the stage with him. Honestly, he sounded more like Ozzy than Axl Rose sounded like Axl Rose. But
Axl should have retired years ago as well.
But I think that came up on a recent show, in fact.
But
it did. It got me emotional. I mean, because
it's sad though.
Yeah, maybe it is. I don't know. It's sad to see. The show itself to me was not sad. The show was joyful and triumphant, but his condition is sad. It is terrible.
Right,
That's the last time.
But that eclipsed the whole show for me. Is how he's sitting. He can't stand up. He's moving uncontrollably. He's having trouble singing. He looks a little deer in the headlights. There's some stuff going on, and I can't ignore that. I can't ignore that and just be like, oh, this is the greatest moment. I didn't think it was very sad to me. I mean, I'm glad if he needed it, he did it, but I just found it really sad and tragic, and I would just rather have remembered him the last time they got together.
Well, you did just hit on something when you said that if he needed it or wanted it or whatever, it's a question of, is he happy that it went down, or would he rather not have done it at all? Of course, he's probably much, much happier that it happened. So I got to be happy for him about that.
I guess.
And, of course, I feel bad for... That's the last
memory of him performing, and I just don't know that that's what the fans want.
We're constantly being bombarded with footage from every era of Sabbath.
But this is the end. This is the last time they performed together, and he was tied into a throne. I just don't know. I don't know. And he couldn't get it. It broke my heart more than anything. It broke my heart. I didn't feel good about it, but I'm glad the fans, it did something for the fans.
Yeah, thankfully the fans didn't mostly feel that way, because they're very happy about it and everything, but it went very well, and I'm happy for Ozzy. And hey, I got a who dat. How could that happen?
Okay, your turn.
What, to introduce a feature?
Yes.
To talk about the show?
Yes.
I know.
Hey, that was part of the show. I wanted to talk about Ozzy.
There you go. That leads us to we talked about we talked about themes and thematic things and themes of themery in the introduction, and this is the point at which I usually count on Christina to introduce it. However, it seems to fall to me this time.
Yes.
So the theme of this particular episode, we're calling it that for a reason you'll find out shortly, is Ambitious Alchemy, Acoustic Adaptation.
Ooh, alliteration for the win.
A little alliteration. 4 A's, folks. Get it straight. Ambitious Ambitious Alchemy. What kind of ambitious alchemy? Well, it's the acoustic adaptation.
Ooh.
That may be some indication that you're going to get some magical acoustic music tonight that Christina has vetted for you. And did you know that one of our most popular episodes ever because we have our finger on the pulse of that sort of thing.
Yes.
Features acoustic music. Now, we're not the brightest bulbs, but we can figure out that means maybe you like acoustic music
We're
now
bright
and then.
as fuck.
We just don't want to make him feel stupid.
No, we don't. No, I mean you guys are more brilliant, but we're okay.
Yeah, we just have the mics.
We're
that's all.
average. Yeah.
Well, really, that's the truth, and so we're gonna do it again. And
Why not?
Usually leads to something where Christina attempts to get. Go ahead.
Attempts to get what?
Where Christina attempts to get the tar pit denizen to say some sort of Gen Z slang or use some kind of
is Gen Z slang this time.
cringe-inducing phrase today. Oh, it does lead to occasional humor in some people's hands. I saw a thing the other day where there was a reel on Instagram that somebody said, I tricked a bunch of Gen Zs into singing and liking the Beatles. And to the tune of to the music of Twist and Shout. They were singing, skibbity toilet, Riz, skibbity toilet, oh, hi, oh. And it was,
oh, yeah, that's all of it.
It was agonizing. It was Gen Z slang. Thank God it didn't go any longer.
Jesus,
but
that's crazy.
Anyway, so what has Christina got in store for us?
Well, this is crystal unclear, and we always do this. You're exactly correct. Thanks for, you just kind of, what did you do?
Thanks for jumping the gun.
Yeah, you totally jumped the gun. Yeah. You totally stole my thunder.
The cart before the horse,
right, horse cart situation. So for this every show feature, we are challenged, as he said, to use a selected phrase as much as possible throughout the show. However, our use of these words may be very extra. This time, and I actually rather like this phrase, and it is, hits different. Hits different. So this is something what this means actually, is something has a unique, intense, or unexpectedly profound impact, often in a positive way. It's used when an experience or thing feels exceptionally special or resonates on a deeper level than usual. So, hits different. I think we're going to find lots of occasion to use that particular Gen Z phrase or turn of phrase, if you were, as it were. So anyway, interesting.
Yes, it's very interesting that it's a phrase I've never cottoned to. That's putting it mildly, and now I'm compelled to use it for your sakes.
I really like it when I think
for
it's
the flock.
Different. It does. I like it. All right, so you know what? I'm going to kick us off. I'm going to kick us off with my first feature, and this one is one that we've touched on before, but let me tell you a little bit first. So this is going way back to one of our original features, Raven or Nevermore. So for this feature, it has us weighing in on current events and trends in popular music. Is it something that we are raving about, or do we want to hear about it nevermore? So, interestingly, we talked about this in 2020. That was right when we first started the show, and I remember. And we discussed touring holograms. Remember way back in the day?
Yeah, yes.
It seems it's high time we revisit this topic.
Oh.
So, do you support holograms? Well, let's get into it. So, what is a hologram? Let me just share in case people are like, what the fuck? So, a hologram is a 3D image recorded using interference and the diffraction of light waves. Ooh, right? So, unlike a 2D photograph, a hologram captures full light fields around an object, right? So, if you think of a hologram, it's light, right? So, it allows viewers to see it from different perspectives. So, basically, it makes it look like, not all the way, like you can't do a 360, right? It's flat, right? Because so it's an image, but you can't tell that, right? So it's just like viewing a real object. So even if a hologram is broken, each fragment can still reconstruct the entire image. It's really amazing and fascinating.
So it's like the good Christmas lights then.
Pretty much, yes. So how are they created? So a laser beam is split into two. One illuminates the object and the other acts as a reference beam. So a reference of whatever it's trying to create an image of. These beams interfere with each other, creating a complex pattern of fringes. Is that right? Fringes? Yes. Of fringes on a recording medium, like a photographic plate. If you remember back in the photographic plate.
So kind of like ridges, like ruffles. Yeah.
Ruffles. They have ridges. When this pattern is illuminated with a reference beam, it reconstructs the original light field, recreating the 3D image.
Well, damn.
So it is very, very complex. Now, there are types of holograms. I just thought I'd give a lesson. Like, what the fuck is a hologram? How does this shit work? So there's a transmission hologram, which is illuminated from behind with a laser. There is a reflection hologram, which is visible with ordinary light. There's hybrid holograms, which combine elements of transmission and reflection. So those are the different kinds. So there are three. And then there's also the application of holograms. Now, Whether or not it should be an entertainment is what we're talking about.
Yeah,
today.
that's the thing. Yeah.
But there's security, healthcare, education, retail, virtual and augmented reality. And I think all of those to some degree are fine. This basically, the reason that this comes up is because it kind of brings about ethical concerns.
I thought you were talking about healthcare. I thought you were talking about hologram healthcare there for a minute. I was going to go, can we stop for a second? I don't think holograms really are really a big draw
they
of
are.
healthcare.
In healthcare, no, they are, because you can actually see 3D, so basically of an issue, of the body part, of what they're going to do with, surgical.
Oh, no, I was thinking about like a touring hologram. What kind of healthcare does it need? That's what I'm talking about, its use in healthcare.
My.
I'm like, wait a second. That's what I thought she was saying.
Talking about?
Sorry, proceed. Proceed.
Oh, my goodness.
Do I support it? Was that a question?
Not yet. We're not there, because there are ethical considerations, which is why I want to talk about this before we get into the actual, do you agree with it or not? So the first one is consent. That's the first ethical concern. So whether the artist, if alive, would have consented to such a performance. We don't have all the people that are touring as a hologram. We don't have the deceased artist permission to do that.
Yeah, and they're not all dead who are doing,
Well, the ones we're talking about are dead.
Oh, well, the dead ones. Okay, yeah.
It sounded terrible. And then, so there's control. The artist, estate, and producers have significant control over the representation of the artist, which can raise questions about authenticity and artistic integrity.
Yeah, it's like doing using their image in any merch or anything.
Exactly. Yeah. And then there's the commercialization, which is next. So some argue that profiting from a deceased artist's image, especially without their direct consent, is exploitative, which that's something we'll talk about. And then there's the fan experience. While hologram tours can be exciting for some fans, others feel that it diminishes the authenticity of an actual live performance. So those are the ethical concerns. And I will be honest with you, that is my biggest concern about holograms, is consent. Is it really representative, of the person? Would they have been okay with it? Would they like the way it was used? Would they like the way that, because all these artists, when they were alive, had very specific control, over all of these things, their image, how it was used, when their music was used, their tours, how it was set up, the dances, the everything. And now they don't have that. So right now, the touring holograms, or the holograms that are out there, some are touring. Whitney Houston has Base Hologram, that's a company, has produced An Evening with Whitney, and it features a holographed Whitney Houston. And it's actually in Vegas right now. Then there's Roy Orbison and Buddy Holly. Illusion, that's another company, has toured with a hologram of Roy Orbison. And then ABBA, as we know, the ABBA Voyage experience in London features digital avatars of the band members performing their hits. Now, the thing about that, like you said, they are here. They are alive. That's the one exception. At least they are able to say yes or no. For me, if they're alive, I'd rather see them alive. But if they're like, hey, I'm past my prime, at least some people know when they're past their prime and they're like, we're done. The other one, so that's the one that's alive. So that one does not bother me.
And there's a future one that you will not care the least about, that is coming, that's still alive, and that would be Kiss. So unfortunately, they're going to do an Avatar thing,
Of course they are.
Yeah. I
am not going to see this ABBA thing.
No,
I have no interest.
No.
I would rather go see their videos, their old videos and all that stuff. I do not want to see that. I don't know why people want to see it, but they do. Frank Zappa, Illusion also produced a Frank Zappa hologram tour. These are all very wildly popular. And Ronnie James Dio. Illusion made a hologram of heavy metal singer Ronnie James Dio. And those are touring, and they've been out there for a while touring and all of that. And I've seen some of them. I went and looked at them, and they're very strange. I mean, if you think back to Michael Jackson in 2012, he was the first hologram, looked nothing like him at all. It was very strange. I remember thinking it's great to sort of see him, but it didn't look like him. They've come a long way since then. But at the same time,
it probably makes it stranger.
It was very weird. I mean, it did the best it could, but it just was very weird. But they've come a long way. That's a long time ago. So anyway, these are the things that I bring up. And the question that I have is, obviously we think about people like Black Sabbath, who are technically retiring. Aerosmith can't really do full tours anymore. Led Zeppelin can't do full tours because you can't have, Robert Robert Plant is not able to do all the notes and all that kind of stuff.
And he doesn't want to.
So are we okay if they create holograms of these people while they're alive or while they're dead? Do we want to see Led Zeppelin hologram? Do we want to see Aerosmith hologram? Do we want to see those? I didn't want to see Kiss when they were, doing their own stuff. I don't want to see a pretend Kiss. I don't want to see anything Kiss, but I don't understand why fans would pay to see a hologram performance of people who are still alive. It's just a cash grab again for Kiss, and that's what they're all about.
Well, unfortunately, they're actually appearing again on a Kiss cruise as Kiss, and it's like, whoa, wait a second. They had a show that canceled because somebody was sick or something like that, and then they didn't reschedule it because it would not have been the Madison Square Garden would not have been the last show. So they canceled it just to keep that the last show. Now they're going to do fucking shows again. It's ridiculous. But anyway,
because that's the whole. I keep moving the carrot, so all the fans keep going to the last show, and as long as you keep paying, they're going to keep doing it.
I saw the last tour. That's enough. As far as like seeing a hologram or something like that, I would not go anywhere to see one. If I were walking through like a mall, or if I was a Vegas kind of person or something like that, and there happened to be something going on and it was like free, I would go. I would walk in and say, okay, but something like that wouldn't be. You probably would get a better experience watching a tribute, than that. I know. I really poked the hornet's nest again with that tribute thing. But I don't personally like the whole hologram thing, and it raises two questions. One of them is quite concrete, and the other one is intangible. Consent is absolutely everything to me.
That's a huge problem for
consent. Me. They have to have consent. Or see, most of these big,
they don't have consent.
Most of these institutions have some kind of a state, even if they're gone,
right?
And they give the consent. But then you got to wonder. Then comes the intangible part. You got to wonder. But would they have have we any way of knowing they would have approved of this when they were still with us? Doesn't matter what the heir or what whoever's holding the rights holder wants. Would they have wanted it? And sometimes you know that, sometimes you don't. And now it's a question that every active performer in every field is considering, and they're giving their consent, or they're not, or they're specifically blocking it. I mean, we've got one of my favorite actors, Peter Cushing, coming back from the dead in Star Wars, long after he was laid to rest. I mean, it's kind of creepy.
But that's a money grab again.
Yeah,
so if the state says yes, it's all about money. The artist, but I think for artists, it's all about integrity. Let's go to Michael Jackson. I'm just going to say Michael Jackson because unfortunately Michael Jackson's gone. Let's say Prince. I don't want to see a Michael Jackson or Prince hologram concert. I don't.
Right.
So neither of those gentlemen would fucking approve that. Neither of them would have been okay with it because they were so meticulous. But if their estate says yes, then we're going to see it and people are going to pay for it. And I think that's fucked up.
Well, I mean, especially with ones who left us so long ago, like Michael Jackson, for example. You gotta. Do you really know? I mean, did they ever actually weigh in on the subject, or you just think based on an aggregate of their the things about them, would they have approved or would they not?
I'm sorry. Did you see This Is It?
I did, yes. Brilliant.
This Is It, where it's every single detail. There's no fucking way he would allow this. He painfully went through everything again and again, staging, dancing, movement, sound, every single thing.
You make one hell of a point here. That film alone does kind of lay that idea to rest. He would let nothing go, and he wasn't a jerk about it.
No.
He was a gentleman,
perfectionist, yes.
But he somehow he got everybody on board. He made everybody dying to do it just right for him. And honestly, that will choke you up, that movie. If you like Michael Jackson at all, it's so fantastic. It would have been. Honestly, your jaw will be on the floor. I can't believe they pulled this thing off. It's the most spectacular, elaborate stage production you've ever seen. It's like watching 5 movies or 7 movies. Incredible.
And his voice was perfect. Everything. The dancing was.
They were only rehearsing, and he was blowing the doors off it. He was in such form, incredibly enough, that he rose to the occasion like that. You simply will not believe how, like you said, how meticulous, how. Everything. He had his hands in everything, all for the good.
That's right, because he wanted to be perfect.
He might have been wrong about the strings in the beginning of Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, but he had this show dialed in, and I've been impressed by watching people, like, honestly, watching a documentary about Taylor Swift creating her stage show.
She's amazing.
come on, people. I mean, you don't have to like her music. You watch that and tell me she does not impress you as a person.
I do like her music.
Yeah.
I mean, I like her music, but I like who she is. She just seems like a normal person. And then when you hear about how much she pays her dancers, I mean, so much more, like 10 times more than other people pay their dancers. She's just a good human being, and she's not, I mean, you might say, oh, she had these Eras tours and she's greedy. She actually didn't. I mean, she didn't try to be greedy. She just went and killed herself. I mean, there were times that she was performing, she couldn't breathe. She went through so much stuff to be on there. No one understands how hard it is to tour.
As the Brits would say, the fans were positively gagging for the tour.
They were dying.
They would have been broken. I mean, they needed it. She needed it.
That's right.
It was phenomenal for the economy. But as focused as she is, of course, in her case, she started so young. It's really doubly impressive.
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
But that level of laser focused, brilliant, because what you have, the vision that you have is so good. And the Michael Jackson thing was even grander than that. And then he cooked up something, honestly, that... I
mean, otherworldly.
I mean, even Taylor Swift doesn't compare.
No.
Incredible.
And then if you think about Prince, and I'm just going to go back to American Bandstand.
Mm-hmm.
American Bandstand,
Okay, by the way, you totally... Okay, so you totally convinced me on the Michael Jackson thing. Hell of a point. If you don't agree and you watch This Is It, you will.
There's no way.
Okay, so
and
Prince.
I can't imagine that Taylor Swift would approve it either. She's like, no, it's not cool. Unless
she'll have time to weigh in.
She has time, right? But so Prince, if you think back to American Bandstand, I think it's his first or second appearance on there, and Dick Clark is interviewing him. And I've watched this interview a few times because I'm a huge Prince fan. And so he's like, hey, how many instruments do you play on this album? And he said, I think he said 14.
Yeah.
Right. And they said, oh, you, I think the album or whatever was delayed because they wouldn't let you produce your own album because you're only 19. Yes. He wanted to control everything. And if you watch Purple Rain, you also know how much he wanted to control everything. And that was very representative of him as an artist. And then if you think about just that, he would not allow them to do the music unless he produced it. He played every instrument. He was a person who wanted it the way he wanted it.
You see, now that is an equally valid point. Those are and different personalities. I mean, people would say maybe Prince was a little more difficult than Michael Jackson.
Yeah,
but
in different ways.
The same kind of visionary. And you see, the difference is I saw This Is It. Thank God they filmed it the way they did.
Oh my God.
If they were waiting for the show, weed all be bereft.
Yes,
it means I have to watch that damn thing again. I only saw it once. It was beyond brilliant.
It was beyond.
But the difference is not having seen those Prince things she's talking about.
No, yeah,
he has his reputation, of course, but I didn't exactly. Yeah, if it's like that, I've never seen it actually play out. So yeah, that's fair to say too, and. People out there, I mean, you're going to make money off the records, the videos.
That's right. That were approved by the artist.
They've got to have a lot of footage, even though it's floating around there probably to watch online. They put it on a DVD or Blu-ray. They'll be able to sell it.
That's
and
exactly
they'll make
right.
This bullshit of Kiss, I'm embarrassed to say I'm a Kiss fan at this point. They're going to do avatars to keep the band alive, to keep the blah, blah, blah. It's like, whoa. We've got dozens of records. We've got hundreds of hours of video. You could easily put out a great video collection and sell that and make a shitload of money. They're killing it on the merch every single day, and people are lining up to buy albums of every single the same show off of different cities' soundboards. It's fucking ridiculous. Sorry. Probably stepping on some toes here. Maybe I ought to cut that part.
Not stepping on my toes.
Yeah, but I mean, it's too much.
I actually like it. We got to hold artists accountable for being just fucking ridiculous. It's too ridiculous.
But you do. Like I said, I have no interest in seeing it. And I would want to know for sure that you just cited two examples of people who would definitely not want to participate in that. Yeah. And I had to think about it for a second, but she's right,
So I worry how many more artists are there like that, and we weren't exposed to their meticulous nature. Now, I don't know if Buddy Holly was there. It was in that realm, but I have a feeling Ronnie James Dio would want to have weighed in. I just think he would have, and I don't know if Buddy Holly, I don't think they had that thought, but I think Whitney Houston may have wanted to weigh in. I don't know that she would have been okay, but maybe she would have. I think this is going to be controversial, and not all of this is, but I'm thinking there are some artists who are like, oh yeah, will it make us money? Kiss, maybe Whitney Houston, right? Maybe, oh, it'll make us money, let's do it. Then there are people who are like, I will not compromise. I get to say it. So I think that Michael Jackson and Prince would have had to design a whole hologram concert. They would have had to be in every, it would have taken years for them to create, hey, after I pass, you're welcome to do this, so that people still, that's different. But without having to wait. And no, we don't have a Michael Jackson or Prince thing. Obviously, that's not true. That's not true. Because in Michael Jackson 1, there is a hologram of Michael Jackson. Yeah. But it's very brief, and it made me cry because it looks like he's there. But it's very brief. It's not a concert. He just shows up at the very end. He shows up, and it's weird because he just comes up, right? Which is really weird. But it was very moving because Michael Jackson.
Of course, they could have moved people by throwing up a video of him as well. Yeah. Correct.
So I think the idea was, at least then, was the shock value that he showed up. Because I couldn't have imagined what a hologram would look like.
I have a much fonder view of what Elvis's band did. I mean, Elvis's actual band,
that was the one
Aloha from. Oh, were you? Did I ruin it?
No, that's great.
Yeah. Aloha from Hawaii band with with James Burton and that Paisley Telecaster and just that kick-ass band that he had. I watched that live when it first broadcast via satellite. It was around back then, and that band got together. They're all old now, but they can jam, and they went and toured and played the video behind them. So we got their live music, the band, the recorded music as well, and Elvis's vocal. And
I love that.
It was fucking great.
What's wrong with that? He consented to that, and he would have consented to play with his band. So it's like a concert, but it's actually him doing it. We're not trying to pretend and create something. And what if they don't like their likeness? I mean, if Michael Jackson would have seen that 2012, he would have been very mortified.
Yeah,
it didn't look anything like him.
This is a video that Elvis showed to the whole world.
Exactly.
He wanted.
And this is his band.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yeah, this is. Yeah, all they're doing is watching the movie and playing on stage. And that we see that all the time. We see bands tour. I've seen a couple of them, band touring, playing a movie and playing the score live. It's a concert. It's the same thing. I thought that was beautiful what the Elvis's band did.
It is beautiful.
I think you're right about Ronnie James Dio, by the way.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, and I'm not saying he's in the same category as Michael Jackson and Prince where he was that, but I still think he wants to have say. I mean, he cared about his image. He cared about how he was perceived. He cared about, he worked so hard to sing that way and have his voice sound a certain way. I mean, I just think he would have cared, and I tend to think that every person who's an artist in any way cares how they are characterized, whether they're alive or dead.
Well, Dio left a successful band.
Oh, yeah.
Because he didn't like the direction they were going in.
Exactly. So that makes me think, fuck, he would not have liked it. So anyway, I feel like, back then I was pissed about it, but now I'm even more pissed about it because I think the lack of consent is offensive. The fact that we have not done that. If we want to do that going forward, then Taylor Swift, for example, hey, Taylor, over the next 20 years, let's design something so that when you leave or you're not able to perform, your fans can have something. Oh, I'd love to do that. Then my fans can do that or whatever. And hopefully that would be a lot cheaper than going to an actual tour of her being there.
Yeah, and that's the thing. A lot of the artists today, honestly, with exceptions of, genuinely talented people like Taylor Swift and Lady Gaga, a lot of the artists today are kind of fake as fuck, and they would be more than happy to sign on with that. They're bullshit anyway, Right. And I think that maybe that artist integrity has changed over the years, and maybe it's because we're more digitally inclined and we're less like blood, sweat, and tears on every single thing. I don't know. Ties into something I might be talking about later. Who
Interesting.
knows? Yeah.
So I don't know what caused that, but I feel like this is just kind of one of those like ethical issues, and those ethical concerns do bother me. I love that we have holograms, but let's use them for the things they're intended, things like healthcare and security and all that stuff. I like that, but I don't know that we should be doing this unless we have consent. And the estate consenting doesn't mean anything to me because they're not the artist, and what it is a money grab. And anytime I see a money grab just for the sake of money, that concerns me because the artist would not necessarily agree.
Right. Like I said, the estate, the consent is everything, and I don't mean the damn estate.
That's right.
I mean the artist.
The artist.
And you can draw some reasonable deductions here and everything, and less. But again, AI has been around for a while, or holograms and that kind of shit's been around for a while. So, any of the artists who are big right now, like these. No, I won't name any, but they're going to be fine with it. They know they have this opportunity, and they'll do it. But dragging someone from a 50-year-old grave and throwing them on the stage is a bit much.
Yeah, and AI. You brought up a good point. AI is going to change the game further, because holograms were one thing. AI is a whole different thing. We have obviously deep fakes and everything, where you can create entire, stories and timelines and videos.
The Tom Cruise ones are scary.
There's
We've
a
seen
lot.
them.
There's so many.
It's terrible.
There's
absolutely
so
terrible.
Many. So that is going to probably be the new way. So they're going to use AI to create these images, which are probably going to be more accurate, which will probably be more popular. But at the end of the day, whether it's AI or whether it's holograms, there's still the consent issue. The reason people have issues with AI is because it is literally stealing from everything that it grabs, right? It's using bazillions of, different types of data, and it is creating something from other people's blood, sweat, and tears. So the idea behind it is, I don't want that. But at the same time, when you do that, there is not one person that's represented. It's literally billions of people's tiny ideas. Now, if you do something like in the as Picasso or something, and you get something that looks similar, that concerns me. But if I put something in like, give me a witch with purple eyes and purple skin, and I get a witch with purple eyes and purple skin that does not resemble anything else but is now a witch that I want to use, how does that hurt? Here's the other thing, though. The other ethical concern is we have actual artists out there who create beautiful things, and they're not being used anymore, right?
And that raises a companion question.
Yes.
Okay, if, like, a person used an AI, like, to get an image.
Yes.
Something that, out of the blue that did, nothing, based on nothing pre-existing, some new notion. Would they have, if such a thing were available, have actually hired the artist, or would they just have gone without? There's always that question too.
So here's the interesting thing, though, and I won't go too deep into it, but
we might have another chance. Who knows?
Oh, okay, excellent. So one of the things that I've done is, it's interesting because if I'm pointing David to images that I created by hand. Obviously these were done, but then I put the other stuff to create our logo. I could put something in and come up with a much better logo for this now, right? Because I'm not doing this, which I may do, and it'd be interesting. Now, we might say, oh, well, it stills from other people. Here's the thing that I need AI to do, and I'm going to leave it at this. I need AI to not only be able to grab this stuff, but then to be able to grab all the people that contributed to it so they can get fucking credit. Let's make AI do that. So every time it pulls an image, it pulls information, it gives you all of the resource information, all of the artist information, all of the website information, and it's going to be hundreds of thousands of lines of data. And you know what? I am happy to zip that up and attach it to whatever I create if that is going to help the artist. How is it going to help them get paid? They're going to get like a fraction of a cent. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, but that's AI. I need AI to do that. AI, go ahead and grab all the resource. Hey, because it'll say I looked at 143 sites. Perfect. Give me all the sites. Yeah,
I would say that things that aren't real, holograms, all that shit, that just kind of hits different, Yeah. AI, I have a position on that. I might get to talk about it. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, I have a position too, so that'll be fun.
I wonder if any of the viewers, any of the listeners right now, have noticed that the first two things that we talked about both concerned all kinds of white knight ethics and everything like that. But honestly, that's just the kind of people we are. I'm not trying to blow our own horn or anything. Yeah. But did we not tell you we were the goody two shoes of indie music? I mean,
it's crazy.
We're like that.
We so are. It's so crazy. But anyway, I know we've gone on for a long time, but I feel like this is an important topic. This is why I wanted to bring it back up. And again, if 5 years later I brought it back up, because I think there are different implications with AI, and all that stuff. But I'm sure we'll get into that again another time. But thank you for going there with me. I have issues with the ethical concerns, and I just think music is about being an artist. And if the artist is not here, then we should not be pretending or expecting to be able to make decisions on their behalf about their art.
Yeah.
So anyway, but then you're like, well, wait, AI. So that's a whole other story. All right. So that leads us to a whole other segment. So I know this next artist will be someone we'll be raving about, and it is Beth Turner with a song called New Waters from the album Grow. Now, Beth is acoustic pop folk singer-songwriter. She's from Virginia, and she released this track, or this album rather, 6/21/2023. So a little bit older than some of the stuff we've been playing, but I will tell you, it is well worth going back in time to capture a little bit of Beth Turner's magic.
Sweet
All right, that was Beth Turner with New Waters. And because I'm a gentle woman, I'm going to allow you to go first. What did you think?
What a dame, and I mean that not in the gangster lexicon way. I mean the British nobility.
As long as you don't call me a tart,
sir,
okay.
The equivalent of sir kind of dame. You know? That song, honestly, first it starts off, and I know. Again, for those of you who don't know how this process works, Christina will just listen to the 15 seconds?
Like 10 to 15 seconds.
10 to 15 seconds of a song and make a snap judgment. This is probably going to evolve into something we're going to want the public to hear, and that we're going to have something good to say about.
We only have gooches now and again.
Yeah,
We've only had like 3 gooches so far the whole time.
There are some loosey-gooseys now and then,
yeah.
But this was definitely not one of them. And they're like, what the fuck is a gooch?
What is going? So here's a funny thing. It's a play on the name of one of the people who we were listening to at that time. So we decided we're going to call it a gooch whenever it doesn't work out. And so we've had 3 gooches total. So 3 gooches in like 5 years is pretty fucking good.
Pretty damn good. That's right.
Anyway, this did evolve in a favorable way.
Right, but as it starts out, it's like the best beatnik coffee house music you've ever heard in your life. You know?
I could.
It's like
this is
I
totally
would
what
be
I said.
sitting there, man.
I would be mesmerized,
beard,
super happy.
I'd be so into this.
That's what I said. I'm like, I could be at a coffee house or even at the hotel cafe listening to this.
The hotel cafe is a perfect place for this kind.
Isn't that perfect?
Yeah. I've only been there once, and it's like, this is exactly that
the
kind
same
of place.
And that's a high compliment because the hotel cafe is amazing. They have amazing artists there. And I do think that they would be great there.
Yeah, I saw Allie Handel there. It was an amazing.
Oh, she's amazing.
And then it starts off with this. It's really this tight guitar and bass thing. The bass is really, really brilliant on this, and this vocal. Oh my goodness, it is. I'll get into that in a minute. But then it kind of evolves into this. More full band sound, kind of an almost 80s post-punky type of thing, Echo and the Bunnymen or some shit with the guitars. You know, it was really interesting, and it was more modern than you might have expected to see coming. But it certainly it melds together beautifully. I think the way this was handled, and I believe Beth here is self-harmonizing. That's
she is,
since it's a band that's named after an artist.
That's what we do.
It's so good at exactly the right times.
Yes.
And it's impossible not to think of a certain artist who, on which the Led Zeppelin song "Going to California" is alleged to be based, and I only just heard about that for the first time. A certain blonde singer, eclectic folk singer, only much more that everybody adores. That I don't want to drop names, but because people hate to be compared, is that the idea here? But in any case. It's reminiscent of, and that's a beautiful thing.
I think you can say it as long as you say it's not derivative. It's
definitely not derivative of Joni Mitchell. It's just that's complimentary.
That's high praise.
Yeah, that's high praise. But it is still beautiful and very original of its own. And I just big kudos to Beth Turner here.
Yeah, I feel much the same, honestly. I really love the harmonies, and I feel a little bit of maybe a little bit of love of the Sundays, maybe a little bit love of Sade, maybe
nice.
Like you said, maybe a little bit of love of kind of that 80s kind of not synth, but just like, I don't know, singer-songwriter 80s. I just thought it was really well done. I feel like nothing is overdone here. There's a nice balance, and what I really like is I'm going to say the R word, there's a rawness about this because it's not overproduced.
No, it is raw. That's the beauty of it.
I appreciated very much. I thought, you know what? That's what gave it that coffee house.
That's exactly
hotel
it. That's
cafe.
It. That's why
I feel like we were live. Yeah. And so I really liked it. I'm not surprised, but then I'm kind of surprised. Like I always go, oh, please let it be great. And it turned into something really lovely. And so I think this is great. If you loved it as much as we loved it, and we assume you did because you're all very smart people, Instagram, you can find her at Beth, Beth Turner, Turner music _.
Nice. I gotta
she's
say,
in Virginia. I mean, too bad she's so far. Come to LA.
Oh, they'd love you in LA. That's for sure. Yeah.
Come on over.
Oh, the strip is waiting for you over here.
Right, come on over. So, excellent. All right, so what is next? What could
I don't know, but I got to
next?
say, it's been a while since we've done this. And you know what? But then again, how do you lose whatever the fuck it is we're doing here? You know,
here's the thing.
Hard to.
It feels good.
Yeah.
It feels good to be back. It feels good to be doing the thing. You know, again, thinking about it, every time, like, I'm looking at the stats because I'm a stats person. I know you are too. We're looking at all our stats.
I might be. I'm saying you think about this, but I do look at the stats.
Oh no, I think about it all the time.
Because I always like to welcome the new listeners.
I like that. Yeah. But looking, I was thinking, man, I remember when this was just a concept sitting there, and it's a grind, right? It's a grind? No, after the grind.
No, it's
before
a grind.
the grind.
It's a grind. Yeah, it's a grind, I believe.
I don't think so.
No. Oh, damn it! Back to the grind.
Back to the grind.
Back to the grind.
We were sitting there, and when the concept came up, I mean, I had all these ideas again. So here they are.
We sat there, and she had this vision. It was like, now I got to make this shit completely foolproof, considering this is my co-host, And she did it. I mean, I forgot the name of a place that we met at a million times.
I know.
That I've gone there. It used to be right next to a concert venue, and I've performed there myself several times.
Yes.
And had one time, Punkin was in the audience.
Yeah, I got to record it.
Nice. The first time I played there, actually, in many years.
Yeah.
But, And
here it is. Boom. Still the format. Still using the format.
Still using the format. Still not talking. Trying not to talk. It's like Fight Club. You don't talk about the format.
Don't talk about the format.
Yeah. We will continue Birds of a Feather with hummingbirds next week. Until then.
This has been Birds of a Feather on What the Flock Radio.